Yes, guys, welcome back again to Game Week 11 review. We had a lot of games this game week, and there were some interesting ones, a lot of goals. Starting the game week, we had Brentford versus AFC Bournemouth. That game ended 3-2. Johan Risa getting 2 goals in that game. It was a good game, an end to end game. Both teams, they've been doing good in their last couple of games, and Brentford at home, they've been a very good side at home, and they were able to get that win 3 goals to 2 against AFC Bournemouth, who have been in fine form. They won against Arsenal and Manchester City in their last 2 games in the league, but they fell to a defeat in the game against Brentford. So Brentford won that game by 3 goals to 2. Moving on to the next game, Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Crystal Palace, they've struggled this season. They've gotten only one win, which was against Tottenham Hotspur. But Fulham, they've been in fine form. Alex Iwobi playing really well. Calvin Bassey, just like 2 Nigerian players in the squad. Emil Smith-Rowe, since signing from Arsenal, has been involved in a lot of good things for Fulham. He had a goal in that game again. The game ended 2-0. It was a good game of football. Crystal Palace, they need to find the form. They need to find the rhythm. They are going down the table. I think they are 18th right now on the league table. They need to start winning. They need to start getting points. But for Fulham, Marco Silva doing a good job, doing a great job with the players, and they can only just keep improving and getting the wins in those games. Moving on to the next game, I think that was West Ham versus Everton. That game ended 0-0, and I think, like I said in my preview, these are two sides that are struggling. They've been struggling to get results. They've been struggling to get goals. They've struggled all through this season, and this game ended again in a draw, in a new draw. It was an end-to-end game, but they were not able to produce any quality, any good inputs in the game. The players were wasteful. They didn't even really create much in the game, and the game ended 0-0. So moving on, we had another good game, which was the Wolves versus Southampton game. Like I said in my preview, Wolves were last on the table. Southampton, they've also struggled, but they got a couple of results in the last couple of games, but they lost to Wolves. It's good to see Wolves getting their first win of the season against Southampton. And like, you just need to keep working out. You just need to keep trying with the players. Wolves, they have good players. They've tried, but they've been unlucky. They've not been able to get the result. But seeing them in that game, they were able to get their first win this season, and they can build on momentum from there. Just so sad that it's coming during the international break, and the players need to travel to their respective countries and come back. But they will still have to build on that performance, on the momentum. They won that game 2 goals to 0 against Southampton. Moving to the big one, but unluckily for them, they fell to a 2-1 defeat. They got the early goal, Erling Halland, and it was all good up until the second half. Brighton were posing threats in the first half, but they were not able to take their chances. But seeing in the second half, the players stepped up, had a fantastic performance. João Pedro, coming back from injury, had a fantastic display in that game. And they got the goals, 2 goals. Baleba was important in midfield for Brighton. They went all out and they got the 2-1 win against Manchester City. This makes it four losses in a row for Pep Guardiola. And it's just so bad that no one is expecting this, or no one even knows what is happening. Because yes, they have injuries to a couple of players, and maybe Rodri, the most important one, but they still have good players. Bernardo Silva is still there. They have De Bruyne back from injury. They have Guardiola. All their players are still available. Doku is still there, and Alan is still there as the striker. But what's going on with Manchester City? I think a lot of Manchester City fans are confused. They don't know what's going on. Not like the performances are bad, but they are not taking their chances. And seeing a team like Brighton coming from a goal down to win against Manchester City, that shows how bad Manchester City are in now. They are in a bad run of form, and they would love that to change. I think the international break is coming at the right time for Manchester City, because now they can take a breather, they can take a rest, and come back after international break get to get going again, to try to start winning again. Because Manchester City, you know them, when they are on form, they can go on a 10-15 game unbeaten run, and they can still do that. They still have the quality, but then we need to see them come back after the international break and do better than what they are doing right now. Moving on to the last game on Saturday, that was Liverpool versus Aston Villa. This was supposed to be a tough game, which it was an interesting game. It was an end-to-end game. This Aston Villa couldn't just take their chances. They had a couple of chances before Liverpool scored, but then we saw Darwin Núñez stepped up in the counter attack, got the first goal for Liverpool. In the second half, too, Aston Villa had a couple of chances they should have taken, but then, lucky for Liverpool, Aston Villa they didn't have their shooting boots on, and Mo Salah got a goal again. Like I keep saying, Mo Salah is getting old. He's going to leave at the end of the season. There's all this talk about Mo Salah, but then he just keeps scoring. He just keeps firing. He can't stop. he can't stop scoring, and that's what a good player do. You might not be able to do the trickery, the dribbles you are used to doing, but then when you see the goalpost, take your chances, and Mo Salah doing that again. Liverpool winning that game 2-0, and they are sit top of the table now. They are leading with 5 points. Manchester City are on 23 points in second. Moving on to the Sunday games, the first game on Sunday was Manchester United versus Leicester City. Manchester United won that game by 3 goals to nil. They crowned Wood Van Nistelrooy interim charge with a win, and that's 3 wins out of 4. 3 wins and a draw for Wood Van Nistelrooy doing his interim charge in all competition. And I think now Ruben Amorim will be coming in for Manchester United, doing his international break, trying to work with the players. And the next game against Ipswich is going to be the new manager Ruben Amorim in charge. But kudos to Wood Van Nistelrooy. He steadied the ship. He did a good job with this Manchester United players. The football might not be the best, but then they got the result and they got goals. And this is what they've struggled to do under Erik ten Hag. 11 goals and 11 goals scored and 3 conceded during Wood Van Nistelrooy's interim charge. That's a good way to go. And moving on, they would want to see better from the new manager and his coaching staff coming in. That was 3-0. We had Ahmad's good performance in that game. Garnacho with a very good goal in the game. Bruno Fernandes also getting on the score sheet in that game. It was just a good game of football, Manchester United, and they got the 3 points, 3-0 against Leicester City. Moving on to the next game, that was Tottenham Hotspur versus Ipswich Town. That game was another shocking game of the week. Ipswich Town, they've struggled. They've not been able to get a win this season, same as Wolves, but they were able to get their first win in the Premier League. And that's just that's fantastic for them, the fans. I like it. They were on point. Delap getting a goal in that game, and a good bicycle kick goal from Smodic in that game. It was just a good game of football. I think Tottenham fans, they were pissed off. They were shouting at the manager. There was a lot of boos in that game because this is a game Tottenham Hotspur are supposed to be winning. Ipswich Town, they've struggled this season, but just good for them, good for their fans. A good way to get your first win of the season and just move on from there. But overall, it was just a good it was a good performance for Ipswich, but then a bad day at the office for Tottenham Hotspur. And another game we're looking at on Sunday was the Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle game. Nottingham Forest, they've been on form, they've been firing, and they are on 19 points. Like everyone thought that game could, if they could build on that form, build on the momentum, and get another win against Newcastle. They got the early goal from Murillo, a cross from Anthony Elanga, but then Newcastle, they just gained the confidence, they gained the momentum. They equalized Alexander Isak, Joelinton with another fantastic goal in that game, and Avi Barnes getting the third goal in that game. That just shows that anything can happen in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest, they've been on good form. Newcastle, yes, they've gotten a couple of results here and there, but they've been struggling. But then they were able to get the win 3-1 against Nottingham Forest, and that was just a good way to go for the international break, and hopefully they come back with more momentum. And Nottingham Forest will still be looking to get points when the league returns in 2 weeks. Moving to the big one on Sunday, that was the Chelsea versus Arsenal game. I think that game was it ended 1-1. It ended 1-1, and it was an exciting game. It was end to end. Havertz got an early goal, which was disallowed for offside. Yes, they had a lot other couple of chances in that game. The first goal came from Martinelli in the 60th minute. Got a very good goal with assist from Martin Odegaard. Like I said in my last videos, Arsenal, they've missed Martin Odegaard. He has been influential. He has been the one creating everything for Arsenal. But now he's back and he got an assist straight away. He played 90 minutes, and that shows how much they've missed Martin Odegaard in this Arsenal squad. But Chelsea equalized. They equalized in the game. They got it was a good goal from Pedro Neto. He was good in that game. He has been trying, he has been firing, he has been trying to get the result, trying to get the momentum. But then it was just a good way to take the game to a 1-1 draw, which Pedro Neto getting the goal in that game. So the Chelsea versus Arsenal game ended 1-1, and they just need to move on from there and try to do better. But overall, it was a good game of football. It was a good game week of football. We saw a lot of goals. We saw a lot of good performances, and we saw a lot of a lot of football to enjoy. And now this will be the international break. Everyone going to their respective countries, trying to win games for the countries. But they will be back in 2 weeks to continue the Premier League football. Guys, stay tuned. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. Follow Football Family on all social media platforms. We'll be back with some news for the Nigerian squad and the rest. But then, guys, stay tuned for more. Thanks and